My name is Margaret Doyle. I am 61 years old, and what I am about to tell you will change the way you look at your own family. 3 days ago, I stood on a trail outside Baltimore and learned that safety is a story we tell ourselves until the cliff reminds us otherwise. But before the fall, there was a life, and it was beautiful enough to hide the shadows growing at its edge. For 4 decades, Patrick and I built a home that smelled like fresh coffee and lemon oil. Our narrow brick townhouse sat a few streets from the harbor, where the salty breeze carried the cries of gulls. Patrick restores old boats for a living, his hands nicked and calloused from years of coaxing stubborn wood back into grace. I'd come home from my days as a school principal, handing out tissues and courage to children, writing notes to anxious parents, memorizing names of those who needed a soft landing, to find him in the workshop, dust in his hair, a satisfied grin on his face. In the evenings, we'd walk by the water, fingers laced, counting gulls like prayer beads. We raised 2 sons there. Daniel, our firstborn, was the soul of the house. Quick to laugh, faster to help, always tinkering with radios or sketching bridges in notebook margins. Ethan arrived 5 years later, quieter, thoughtful in a way that made me lean in to catch his words. I loved them equally, fiercely, like the tide claiming the shore. Sundays were sacred. After church, we'd gather at the oak table Patrick carved himself. Daniel would chatter about engineering dreams, building cities where design turned chaos into harmony. Ethan sat across, picking at his food, eyes on the window. When Daniel teased, Ethan smiled and let it slide. I took his silence for peace. Summers were tomato sandwiches and sawdust. Patrick taught the boys woodworking, I taught apologies before hurts hardened. We weren't rich, but laughter filled the house more than furniture. Nights on the front steps, watching neighbors pass as the sky deepened to navy, felt like perfection. Yet, there were glitches, like static in a song. Arguments cut short when I entered rooms. A cracked picture frame in the workshop, unclaimed. Daniel once clutched bank statements, jaw tight, while Ethan stared at the floor. Patrick dismissed it, brothers weather storms. If happiness is a photo, ours captured the blink before the fall. I believed families bent, not broke. I didn't know harbors hid secrets, or cliffs listened. It was 1999, a cold Baltimore fall. Daniel, 20, home from college with greasy hands from the workshop, his mind buzzing with inventions. Ethan, 15, navigated high school in his brother's shadow. That October night haunts me. Dinner ready, roast chicken with windowsill rosemary. Patrick set the table. I watched the clock. 8 o'clock. 9 o'clock. By 10, worry tightened my chest. Daniel always called if late. Maybe with friends, Patrick said, voice edged. Ethan pretended to study, but his eyes flickered when asked about Daniel. "No, Mom," he muttered, avoiding my gaze. By midnight, neighbors searched with flashlights, alleys, shipyards, Jones Falls Trail. I prayed at the window, every car light a false hope. Dawn brought Patrick back, face shattered. They found him. Daniel's body at a gorge's bottom, rocks slicing shallow water. Police, accident, slipped in the dark. I collapsed in my black dress, my mother's funeral dress, sobs tearing me. Ethan's blank stare at the service I blamed on shock. Patrick held me, whispering comfort, but shadows lurked in his eyes. The funeral. Sobs. Flowers. Finality. I buried Daniel and his dreams. Grief nearly stopped my heart. Then Ethan changed, helping chores, aiding Patrick, checking on me. I saw it as grieving, filling Daniel's void. I clung to it, the alternative unimaginable. Life trudged on, the house echoing without Daniel's laugh. I patched silence with routines, grading papers, cooking, sweeping the porch. Patrick drowned in boat work, eyes distant. Ethan grew, apprenticed with Patrick, smoothing wood with a gentleness that seemed redemptive. In his late 20s, he married Clara, a charming florist. She brought lilies, called me Mom, helped dishes like family. Sundays revived with her laughter. Their children, a boy, a girl, filled the house with pattering feet. Patrick built cradles. I read stories in Daniel's old rocker. Redemption. Ethan's woodworking shop thrived. Neighbors praised him. I was quietly proud. But 6 months ago, a shift. Visits weighed heavier, circling our future. Mom, Dad, you're in your 60s. Put things in order, Ethan said, arm around Clara. Protect you, she added softly. Harmless. Update will. Then, sole heirs, they'd distribute to grandkids. Patrick nodded. I chilled. Their gazes felt like schemes. I dismissed paranoia. Ethan our only son, Clara kind. But visits sharpened. House too big, Clara said, eyes appraising. Sell. Condo easier. Patrick considered. I twisted inside. This is our life. Ethan's jaw set, irrational. If sick, we handle. His edge unnerved. He sounded like a dealer, not a son. Pressure mounted. Power of attorney. Precaution, Ethan smoothed, Clara pouring tea proprietarily. Patrick wavered. I felt trapped. Called Sister Helena. Why need money if thriving? Lightning struck. Confronted Patrick in the shop. Strange, his hovering? He stilled, stared at wood. Maggie, about Daniel. Air thickened. That night, I saw Ethan push him. Daniel had proof, Ethan stealing savings. I buried it, couldn't lose both. World shattered. Ethan, my comfort, the cause. Patrick, secret burdened. Silence broken by phone. Ethan, cheerful. Anniversary hike? Views, together. Blood cold. Patrick, he'll kill us like Daniel. No evidence for police. Planned, phone recording on trail. Clara brought snacks, chirping, perfect day. I thought, for accident. Patrick wrote Helena truth. I hid it. Dread ached. We walked to danger, not silent like Daniel. Saturday dawned clear, mocking. Ethan whistled, Clara radiant, camera ready. Forced smiles. Patrick squeezed signaled recording. 2-hour drive. Torment. Clara sang. Ethan chatted kids' photos. Trailhead bustled. Path gentle. Dappled. Clara snapped flowers. Laughing. Ethan behind. Okay, Mom. Too smooth. I felt his stare. Path steepened. Legs heavy. Patrick's breath ragged. They knew we weren't hikers. Clara pointed. Cliff spur, 90 feet over gorge, loose ground, rocks like teeth. View incredible, photos. Blood froze. Unsafe. Ethan's grin. 5 minutes. No choice. Climb brutal. Shoes slipped, knees ached. Ethan's grip predatory. Top, valley breathtaking. Clara positioned us edgeward, camera up. Mask slipped, cruel smile. Your last photo. Wind whispered death. Ethan, step back. We did. He lunged, pushing. Clara triumphant. Patrick grabbed. You come too. Tilted, tangled, fell. Impact, bones cracked, blood taste, vision blurred. Patrick's whisper, pretend dead. Stillness, pain screaming. Ethan groaned. Clara whimpered. Old people. Ethan checked, dead. Relief sickened. Clara, perfect planned. They plotted cover. Dad tripped, grabbed Mom. We helped, fell. Survivors, pour us. Voices faded. Patrick, alive? Phone recorded. Tears, proof, but survive? Helicopter hum grew. Blades thrummed. Ethan, help parents, they fell. Clara sobbed. Rescuers, too conscious. Us, faint pulse. Limp on stretchers, lifted. Ride, pain blur, Clara's theatrics. Hospital chaos. Lights. Gurneys. Remained unconscious. Ethan whispered, "Learned lesson?" Like Daniel. Nurse heard, froze. I twitched fingers. She, pretending? Help. Detectives came. Opened eyes. They pushed. Patrick gave phone. Recording damning. Detective, enough, arrest. Watched, arrest for Daniel's murder, attempted hours. Ethan, impossible, dead. Betrayed himself. Clara, your plan. Crumbled. 6 months, court. Guilty. Life. No parole. Now, year on, we guardian grandkids. Tell of Uncle Daniel, choose truth over shadows. For 25 years, illusion of family. Silence fed darkness. Lost son to death, illusion to cliff. Saved by truth, it pierces lies. Love sans honesty. Manipulation. Justice, late, freeze. Grandkids grow on truth's foundation, only legacy worth it.